This episode of FilmRiot is brought to you by Domain.com.
Today on FilmRiot, I'm going through my list of best online resources for FilmRiot. I didn't even finish my line.
So?
Now I don't even know what we're doing. Welcome to FilmRiot, the show that takes mystery out of the effects and techniques, going to some of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley, and every now and again, I like to update or remind you in some cases about all the amazing resources you can find online for filmmakers. Most are totally free, some will cost you them bills, but all of them are 100% worth your time, which is a really exciting thing. As time goes on, we're just getting more and more excellent resources. It's really a great time to be an upcoming filmmaker, so let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. First up, we're going to start with the most obvious, which is software and assets. Starting with software, we have my post software of choice, which is the Adobe Creative Cloud. It's subscription-based, and you get access to every bit of software that they make, including apps for your smart devices. After that, we have HitFilm, which we just did a collaboration with HitFilm on the release of their free software, HitFilm 3 Express. It's limited, but perfect for beginners since you can do editing and VFX inside this one piece of free software. However, if you do want to spend a little bit to get an upgrade, they recently released HitFilm 4 Pro, which has some excellent new features like the ability to import animations from your 3D software to work right in HitFilm 4. So you can learn more about that right here. Moving on to assets, my favorite place to find assets for visual effects would be Video Copilot and Rampant Design. Both have all kinds of goodies for compositing like fire, smoke, dust, and so on, and plenty of goodies for motion graphics work as well. And of course, while talking about assets, I do have to mention our own on triunestore.com. We have all kinds of sound effects, music, and other assets, but hold off buying anything until Black Friday. We're gonna be having an insane sale to help you out if you're on a low budget. For music, you can also find tons of great stuff online, including a lot of free stuff. Check out this episode of FilmRiot where we covered all of that. Moving on from software and assets into blogs and websites, first up is my favorite, and that is No Film School. This is one of the best sites for all things filmmaking. They do an excellent job curating great content. Definitely one that I'm checking often. Next up is IMDb Pro. This one isn't free. You're looking at around $150 a year for membership, but you get excellent industry news and contacts. After that, we have Box Office Mojo. This one, I'm always checking to see budgets of films and what those films have made, especially on opening weekends, but then how it trickles out over time. I've always found it really informative to see how certain films perform. Always a good thing to keep up on if you're looking to be in this industry. And the last of the websites is Shot On What. Here you can search for any movie to get all the technical details about what they shot on and more. Now we move into the main bulk of my suggestion, which are the most important, and those are the educational resources. First up, we're gonna start with the ones that are gonna cost you the monies. Like my Guerrilla Filmmaker class on Creative Live, and yes, it's my own class that I'm promoting, which does feel a little bit icky, but it is 18 hours of content where I break down creating a film from pre to post-production. It's very 101, so if you're just starting out, this is a really good place to start, I think. Next are the classes from MZ. They have been putting out some incredible stuff, like both of Alex Buono's visual storytelling tours, Shane Hurwitz's cinematography tour, Vincent LaFerray's directing tour, and a great editing class from the editor of SNL Shorts. I have all the classes, and each one of them really is like a mini mentorship program. A similar type thing to that is Dustin Hoffman's masterclass. This is a class on acting from one of the best actors of our time. Best part about it is it's not just an acting class, it's also a directing class, since he's talking a lot about direction, and you get to see his process of directing the actors in his class to get the best performance possible. Definitely one of my favorites on this list. And finally, lynda.com, where you basically pay to have access to in-depth tutorials for anything you can think of. I've found it super valuable over the years. But those are all a bit costly, although totally worth it. And no, I don't get paid for talking about any of them. Well, except for my class and store, but that should go without saying. But now we take a break and look at some excellent resources that are available for zero monies. You gotta love the internet. Domain.com is where I go to get all my domain names, and now they got .club, which is perfect if you're building any kind of a website because the internet's all about community and collaboration, and .club is universal and understood globally. That's a lot of good things, Josh.
That's so good.
That's so many good things.
So good.
Plus, it's only $9.99 a year. Thousands of options are still available, and if you use the coupon code FilmJumbo, you get 35% off
Whoa.
new domain registrations. You like that?
Whoa.
You like that?
That's a jumbo deal.
But that deal's only available till November 30th.
Uh-oh.
So you gotta jump on it.
Gotta jump on it.
You know what I'm saying?
Jumpy jump on that jumbo deal.
You ruined it. When you think domain names, think domain.com.
I'm sorry for my actions.
You didn't ruin it. I still liked it. I just wanted to bring you down a peg.
Logo. So if you don't have the cash for paid resources, don't stress, there are a ton of places online with excellent info for you to consume. First of which is from my friend Daniel James. His YouTube channel is packed full of great info and tutorials for composers. Even if you don't want to be a composer, it's great to go check out if you're a director, that way you know what the process is. Next up are Red Giant's Film Team Experiments, which you can find on their YouTube channel. They create really creative sketches and then show how they pulled them off. A lot of it leans towards their products, but still excellent information. After that, we have johnaugust.com. Here you can find tons of great info on screenwriting and their podcast script notes. I know I've talked about those a lot, but that's because it's seriously one of the best educational resources out there. Sticking with writing, we have Go Into Story. This is another great site for would-be or current writers. Then we move on to Filmmaker IQ, which we have tons of great curated content here like No Film School, but he also makes his own series where he breaks down all sorts of things from the history of filmmaking. After that, we jump to Rocket Jump Film School. This is from Freddie Wong's team. All sorts of good stuff here from pretty much every department of production. Then after that, we have Vashi Visuals. Vashi is an editor that is very generous with his knowledge. There's all sorts of great info about editing and then some great looks at the process and techniques of filmmaking as well. Moving down into interviews, which I think are invaluable. If you get the right kind of interview like a roundtable and such, it can be one of the best ways to get insight into the industry or any profession. My favorites for that would be DP30. He does a great job of asking interesting questions and getting interesting answers. The Hollywood Reporter, which is where you're gonna find my favorite roundtable discussions, and Making Of, which this one was started by Natalie Portman and has great interviews and some behind the scenes stuff as well. But that's the list of some of my favorite resources for filmmakers. If I'm missing any great ones, feel free to post your suggestions in the comments below, because you know, people's helping people's.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. Logo. And that's it for today. Again, another reminder, don't forget about our Black Friday sale coming November 27th and our Cyber Monday sale coming November 30th. Everything in our store is going to be crazy cheap, and we have some new stuff like Seth Worley's Writing 101 pack, so keep that one in mind. Also, I'm helping out with an event that's coming in January and judging a short film competition as well. For the event, it's called the In Focus video event. It's happening in San Antonio from January 11th through 13th. There's some keynotes and then hands-on learning too, which is what I'm going to be helping out with. I'll be helping a class shoot a scene on location. If you want to know more about that, check that out right here. For the film festival, there's all sorts of categories to enter into, a solid list of judges, and over $8,000 worth of prizes. So make sure you check out that one right here. But that's it for today. I'll see you guys next week when I shoot a dude in the arm with a flute gun.